Buddy, this is Carla and welcome back to the studio. So today I am doing a pre-recorded live, and this is going to be a special holiday video that I'm doing. Now, you're probably asking yourself, okay, you posted this on September 22nd. What holiday could it possibly be? Well, it's actually the first day of fall or first day of autumn, and autumn happens to be my favorite season. So I thought I would create a video creating some really cool fall projects. Now I am going to be using, just hold on one second. I am trying to bring up my live so I can at least see what things look like. And it doesn't look like it wants to. Want to bring it up. Okay, so I got it brought up. And let me turn down the sound. Evidently my sound's on. Just got a couple little things. So, as an FYI, I just want to kind of put it out there that when I do, are you looking at my ceiling? We don't want you looking at my ceiling. Let me flip that. So when I do my lives in the past, I've been able to schedule them, and then all I have to do is hit go live. For the past few weeks, there have been some issues with YouTube, and now I got it flipped. And I can't exactly schedule any of my lives because for some reason when I set it up as horizontal orientation, it wants to keep flipping it to vertical. As a matter of fact, even though I had set this up, boy, that's really crooked. I don't want it all crooked. So as I'm talking, I'm kind of making sure that everything's kind of straight because I know that would drive me crazy too. So, okay, that looks pretty good. Um, so like right now, looking into my phone, it's telling me the orientation's locked and I need to rotate the device back. No, I don't, because I want it horizontal. I do not want this vertical. Um, I don't know what the issue is. There's other demonstrators that have been having this problem. So what I will be doing in my Friday night lives going forward until the issue is fixed, they start at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. I will be popping on. The live will start about 15 minutes early. And in that 15 minutes, it's going to give me the chance to get all of the descriptive items into the description of the video, along with adding the nice pretty thumbnail for the live, and also adding a link. One of the things that I do on my Friday night lives, the 3 projects that I create, I do a wheel of names drawing at the end. And that link just simply has the Google spreadsheet to which you can add your name to go into that drawing that I do at the end. So that first 15 minutes, just as an FYI, if you go to watch the Friday night lives, jump ahead about 15 minutes, and I'll mention that too when I do the video, just so then that way you're not seeing me just trying to set everything up and all that. So, but this is a pre-recorded live, just simply meaning that I'm recording this, it's unlisted, so nobody knows that I'm live. And then when I'm done, I'm going to add all of the descriptive information into the description of the video. I'm going to title it, I'm going to have the pretty graphic for it, and then I'll make it public. So I am recording this on September 22nd of 2024. And like I mentioned, this is the first day of autumn. Autumn being my favorite season, so I wanted to pull out something that I have that's for the fall and create a special video. So what I am going to be using for these projects, now these projects are pretty simple, easy projects. And what I'm going to do, so this is, let me kind of get it in order here. So this is our scrapbooking brochure. If you don't know, Close to My Heart, they were another direct selling company that was geared a lot more around scrapbooking. Well, the company kind of closed up shop, and Stampin' Up! Kind of stepped in. Some of the products that Close to My Heart's been known for, they kind of purchased that. And also those makers that were with Close to My Heart, they did come on as Stampin' Up! Demonstrators. Now, Stampin' Up! At one time when I first joined, they did have quite a bit of stuff that was for your traditional 12 by 12 scrapbooking, but they kind of moved away from it. A lot of it was just more of card making. Then we did have Project Life, and Project Life was basically your scrapbooking with pocket pages that you can put little pieces, little cards and stuff in and pictures into those pockets. So kind of like a simplified type form of scrapbooking. Well, with Close to My Heart closing and us taking on, their makers and all that, they decided that they were going to go back to doing some traditional 12 by 12 scrapbook products. So there were some products that was from Close to My Heart that if you go on to the website and into the online store, there is a section that it says Close to My Heart products or CTMH products. So there's like some ink pads that are in their colors. There's some of their two-tone cardstock in their colors. I think there's like a scrapbooking workshop kit in there, a couple of stamp sets. Those are separate. Those are like strictly like Close to My Heart products. But starting in September, they did bring on some product that coordinates with some of the product that we currently have. So in here, there's some two-tone cardstock in here in Garden Green, Pool Party Real Red, and Basic Black. Um, and then there's Willow, White Willow, which is another cardstock. And then there's the Reindeer Memories, this scrapbooking workshop kit. It coordinates with the reindeer, I believe it's called the Reindeer Fun suite of products that is in the new holiday mini catalog. So these kits will create 3 two-page layouts. You get in the scrapbooking workshop kit, you're going to get 9 sheets of 12 by 12 two-tone cardstock, along with White Willow cardstock, some double-sided designer series paper, some single-sided designer series paper. There's a sticker sheet, an ephemera sheet, and a die cut sheet along with photo placeholders. So what's really cool about these kits is that it's very, well, I'm not a scrapbooker, so I'm going to first say that. They do give you step-by-step instructions on how to cut the cardstock, how to cut the DSP, and kind of gives you the layout, how to put it all together. And again, you can get the whole workshop kit, and then you can get some items separately. Um, like I said, it does coordinate with the reindeer fun. I'm pretty sure it's what it's called. No, the products coordinate with the Reindeer Day Suite collection. That's what it's called. And so this DSP here is the same DSP that's in that suite that's in the catalog. In addition, there's also another stamp set that has some bigger images, so bigger fonts and all that. That could be used for doing your scrapbooking. And then there's also some coordinating two-tone cardstock packs too that you can get with this. And then there's another one, Snow Day Scrapbooking Workshop Kit. Again, this makes 3 two-page layouts. And this coordinates, um, what is this one? This one coordinates with the Snowy Scenes suite that's in the new holiday mini catalog. So you can see these are the 3 different two-page layouts that you can make with that one. And again, you can get the DSP and the two-tone cardstock separately. Now the DSP that's in here, this is the same DSP that's in the Holiday Mini. And then it does have a stamp set, just has some big greetings on it, along with some two-tone cardstock. So these items, not just for your scrapbooking, but you can also do this for your card making as well. Now, we got a Halloween memory scrapbooking workshop kit. This too makes 3 two-page layouts. Um, you can see those right there. Now, with this one, we do not have in our new holiday mini, we do not have anything Halloween in there. So in our online exclusives, we do have a bundle called Potions and Spells, and then there's an additional stamp set that has some ghosts on it in it. And there was, like in our past catalogs, we used to have like a suite for Halloween where you have DSP and embellishments or possibly a ribbon, along with a bundle where it's a stamp punch stump bundle or stamp and die bundle. This year, like I said, nothing in the holiday mini for Halloween at all. And in our online exclusives, we just had that bundle and that individual stamp set. So with this kit, with this whole kit, in addition to getting it as a whole workshop kit, you can also get the designer series paper, and there's an additional stamp set that you can get separately. Now, again, it says right here that it coordinates with the Potions and Spells bundle. Again, that's in the online exclusives. So there is a pack of DSP that you can get. There's some two-tone cardstock. There's an additional stamp set and a sticker sheet. I haven't done any of my Halloween projects yet, so I did get this paper and I did get this two-tone cardstock, and I will be doing something with that Potions and Spells bundle. Now, I kind of got this out of order. Now, there's another scrapbooking workshop kit that is in this, and it's called Autumn to Remember. Now, I love, like I said, I love autumn, and there's some additional things that are in the scrapbooking workshop kit that you can't get individually. So I did get the whole workshop kit. I will show you that because we're primarily going to be using the stuff out of the scrapbooking workshop kit and the additional two-tone cardstock pack as well, and the additional stamp set that is in here for all my projects. So again, it creates 3 two-page layouts. Again, I don't really scrapbook, but all this stuff you can use in your card making as well. So here's the designer series paper. There's the sticker sheet. These are additional things that you can purchase that are outside of that kit. You have your two-tone cardstock, and then the Autumn to Remember stamp set. So I will be using this in the projects, and through these 3 greetings in here, I'll be using those on each project. Now, like I said, the greetings in here, They are larger than what you would normally see for card making, but we're going to make it work for our card making. So let me take this and let me set this aside. And let me bring in the stuff that's part of this. So, like I mentioned, there is a photopolymer stamp set called Autumn to Remember. These greetings are pretty big. You can see that they're a really nice size. So these are perfect. Like if you are doing scrapbooking pages, you have a big title that you can put on that page. But again, like I said, um, this can be used also for card making, and that's what I'm going to be doing. Now there's no die. Again, there's no dies. There's no punch that coordinates with it. So it's the stamp set. Then this is the two-tone. This is the Autumn to Remember two-tone cardstock. So you have Cajun Craze, Early Espresso, Mossy Meadow, Old Olive, Pecan Pie, and Petal Pink. Now what's different about this cardstock and the cardstock that's Stampin' Up! Sells. Now it is stamped, the two-tone is in Stampin' Up! Colors. So this first page right here, this first sheet, this is Cajun Craze. And one side's darker, and then the other side is a shade lighter. And so this paper too, to kind of describe the weight of this paper. Now this isn't as heavy as our 8.5 by 11 or our 12 by 12 regular cardstock. The two-tone has a white core to it. I don't know if you can see that, but it does have a white core. So you have the darker color on printed on the one side and the lighter shade on the back. And our regular cardstock is colored straight through. So if you were to tear it, you're going to see the whole color through. Whereas if you tear this, it's got that white core. The other thing that I have done with this, and I did it was a couple of weeks ago, I did my More Than Autumn Friday night kind of live. And in one of the projects that I had made, I had done a technique where I had taken a piece of this cardstock and I ran it through my embossing folder. And then I took, I'm just trying to get this back in here and it's not working very well. So let me just put this aside. I had embossed it with my embossing folder, and then I had taken, I didn't really have a sanding block, so I used this on it and I just lightly rubbed over the raised area, and what it did is it removed some of the color, so there was like a kind of like a two-tone effect. I just happen to have the card right here. So you can see I embossed. This is the pumpkin pie colored one. And I embossed it. And then I used that to sand off just lightly on the raised edges. And then you can kind of see that white center coming through on that cardstock. So that's one technique of what you can do with that two-tone. In addition, there is the Sweet Days of Autumn 12 by 12 Designer Series paper. So I am using this on all of the projects. So for this, because there is 3 different two-sided patterns, you are getting 4 sheets of each of these patterns. So you got the cute little critters, then you got some trees, you got some grid here, and then the other side of that has these trees with the early espresso background. Then you have some old olive, nice subtle design, and then the back of it has this Cajun Craze design in it. So this is really cool DSP. Again, I'm using this on all 4 projects. And then here is how you get your scrapbooking workshop kits. They all come in these large Ziplocked storage bags. And when you open it up, you're going to get, like I said, you're going to get everything in here to create the 3 2-page layouts. So first you have a color printout of the instructions, and it kind of lists like what the feature techniques are. So you see a picture of what the layouts look like. It lets you know what the materials are that you need. Um, and then it kind of gives you an idea too for each of the projects, like what kind of sized photos to put on it. Again, when you're doing this, if you're experienced at scrapbooking, of course you can kind of do your own thing. But if you're a beginner, what's nice is it shows you how to cut the DSP for each of the layouts for these pages. It shows you what orientation to cut it, what size. It does give you like letters and numbers and things like that to know what it goes with. Um, and then it has the pictures, kind of showing you how to put it all together. And so it's all step-by-step instructions. And like I said, I don't really do scrapbooking, so, but it's real. I mean, it's cool. If this is something that you're looking to get into, this would be perfect because you have everything laid out for you, and you basically have everything you need except for, like, like scissors and a trimmer, some adhesive, like a stamp and write marker for doing your journaling, and it lets you know what material, other materials that you would need in addition. Then there is this die cut, which almost has like this wood texture to it. I don't think that it is. I think it's just uh, kind of like a thin chipboard that looks like a wood type texture to it, but it's not wood, and you just pop these out. I don't think these are stickers. I think these are just pop outs, and then you would glue them onto the project. And then again, there's some of the DSP. Now I used the DSP that was in this kit. Like I said, it's the same paper that's in the pack of the DSP. And then in addition, there are some, I think these may be the bases. So these, you get 2 sheets of this gray wood pattern. It's one-sided. And then you have this stripe that looks like maybe old olive, crushed curry, and petal pink. So you get just one sheet of that. You got another sheet of pecan pie and petal pink. And then you got some of the two-tone cardstocks in here. Now, between the kit and the extra pack that you can get, the crushed curry is in the kit. It's not in the separate pack. And then this is their willow white cardstock. This I'm thinking and probably the base pieces for the layouts. And then this sheet here, this is the sticker sheet that comes in the kit. You can also get this with the pack of the DSP as well. I don't think it's actually separate on its own, but you can get it with the DSP. So some really cute images. Again, you can use these on your cards as well. And then here's a whole sheet of some die cuts. And then there's another one with some more die cuts in it. And then there are these cards. So as you're putting your pages together, if you don't quite have your pictures yet, you do have these cards, which are your photo placeholders for your pages. So everything that you need for creating 3 2-page layouts for your scrapbook are in this kit. And I do have all this stuff that I'm using in the projects will be in the description, and they are linked to the product. So if you want to purchase any of this, it'll be in the description. So let me go ahead and let me move this out of the way. Okay, so let me bring in the pieces for my first card. Again, all of this is basically using all the products that are in that whole suite of product that's in the Autumn to Remember Scrapbooking Workshop Kit. Okay, so I have a piece of Mossy Meadow cardstock. This measures 8.5 by 5.5, and I've scored it at 4.25. I have a piece of that Sweet Days of Autumn DSP. I'm going to use this side here with the Cajun Craze. This measures 5.25 by 4. I have another piece of that DSP. This measures 5 by 2. And then I have a piece of crushed curry cardstock that measures 3.75 by 2.5. So for this, I'm going to start off with folding and burnishing my card base. All these cards are very simple cards. There's no die cutting, nor is there any punching on this either. So these are going to go together pretty quick. Okay, so I'm going to take this piece of DSP. I'm going to bring in my seal, and I'm going to adhere this to my card base. I'm going to center that like so. Okay. And this paper can actually go either way. So on my sample, it's kind of going up the other way. This way it's coming down. So either way, you can use it either direction. Then I'm going to take this piece of DSP, add some adhesive to the back of this. And I'm going to adhere this right up here. So I'm leaving a bit of DSP from this piece here showing on the top and on the sides there. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside. On this piece here, I am going to bring in this stamp image here that just looks like these little leaves, and the Bountiful Blessings stamp. And I'm also going to bring in this little acorn. Or I can change it up and bring in one of the other little ones here. So we want our Bountiful Blessings. And then I want this piece here. And then I'm going to bring in this little maple leaf. Okay. Turn that over. Let me bring in my block for this. And then for this one. And then we got our little maple leaf. Okay, so I'm going to take this little maple leaf one here, and I'm going to clean it. So I haven't used this stamp yet, and in the process of creating the photopolymer stamp set, the stamps, there is a film that's on them. So if you find that you're not getting a very good stamped image, so it's not clear and crisp, a couple things you can do. Clean the stamps. Now don't take like a sanding block or anything to it, just clean it. And then the other thing too, if your surface is a hard surface, bring something in like a foam mat. This is our Stampin' Pierce mat. Because photopolymer doesn't have that foam cushion like the red rubber does, this is going to give you a little bit of give, so then that way you can get a better stamped image using the photopolymer. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my pecan pie. Now, I'm working on a silicone sheet that's on top of my work surface here. So I do have a little bit of that cushion with this. So I am going to ink this up. And I'm going to stamp it across the bottom here. And then I'm going to stamp it again up on the top. So again, today being the first day of autumn, but down here in Memphis, it certainly does not feel like autumn. It's like 90 some odd degrees outside. But it is looking kind of cloudy. Sun's out a little bit. Excuse me, I went to church this morning and the sun was out and all that, but then when I left and stopped at the store and came out, it was actually starting to rain, and it kind of came down a little bit heavy before I got home. But then where I'm living, which isn't all that far, it was completely dry, so we didn't get rain here, but we may get some before the day is out, so we'll see. Again, it's still really warm out there. Okay, so then for my Bountiful Blessings image, I'm going to stamp that right here in the middle, and I'm going to ink that up in my early espresso. Okay, and then I'm going to come right into the middle here. And I cut my cardstock to be just the right size for this. Okay. I'll close that up. And then I am going to take my little maple leaf here, and I'm going to bring in, let's see, let's do some Cajun Craze on this one. Okay, and then I'm going to take this little maple leaf, and I'm going to stamp that right here under the Bountiful Blessings. Okay, now before I do my next step, let me just quickly go and clean these stamps, because I'll need to do that anyway before I jump into the next project. Because I'll need these blocks for those other stamps. Okay, now one of the things I'm going to do with this piece that we just stamped, I'm going to add a little bit of some texture to this. So I'm going to bring in my paper snips. Now this is a part where you do want to be careful in doing this, because the snips are really sharp and you do not want to end up scraping your finger, because it will do some damage. So I'm going to rough up all four edges of this cardstock. I'm doing this over my pop-up trash bin, because you can see there's a lot of that paper fuzz that's coming off. Okay, and then we got one more side. All right, so now let me kind of wipe this off a little bit. All right, and then I'm going to carefully get some of this fuzz off of my scissors. Okay, I'll get this out of the way. All right, so now let me go ahead and assemble my card. So for this crushed curry panel, I'm going to bring in my dimensionals, and I'm going to add one in each of the corners, and then I'll add like 2 in the center, just so that way it doesn't sag in the middle. All right, and then I'm going to place this kind of like in the middle of my card like so. And then for my embellishments, I'm going to use the faux glass dots. Now these are in our holiday mini catalog. I believe it's called the Autumn Splendor Sweet Collection that these are part of. So in this set, now the packaging does not list the colors that are in the embellishments. And if you look in the catalog, it's not listed there either. But if you go to the website and you bring them up, it will list the colors there. So we have Cajun Craze, Copper Clay, Mossy Meadow, and Wild Wheat. So for this one, I'm going to use the Mossy Meadow, and I'm going to bring in my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to add a few of these to my card. So we got a large one, and then 2 smaller ones. Put that one right there. Okay, move that out of the way, move that out of the way. And there we go. There's the first card. Just very simple. Just really utilizing that DSP from that kit. So let's go ahead and work on our second card. And let me bring in all those pieces. Okay, kind of move that out of the way. All right, so I have a piece of Cajun Craze. This measures 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have a piece of that Sweet Days of Autumn DSP. This measures 5 by 1.5. Then I have 2 pieces, 2 different patterns from that Sweet Days of Autumn DSP. Each one of these are cut 2 by 1 1/4. And then I have a piece of Petal Pink. This measures 3 by 1 3/4. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to fold and burnish this card base. And let me get my bone folder. Okay, then I want to get a piece of scrap paper. So I want to, I'm going to apologize in advance. If I kind of move away from the phone and I'm speaking, I'm not using a microphone. So if I sound like I got a little quieter when I kind of turned around and I'm talking, I apologize, but that's just because I don't have a microphone on. Okay, so then for my card base, what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to create a background on my card base. So let me kind of get these put away, because I don't need these anymore. And my little tiny maple leaf. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to use this larger leaf. Now, what's really cool about these I don't want, do I want to say, it doesn't say it on the stamp set, but this is almost like our distinctive type stamps, where they're kind of almost like a almost like a photorealistic type of image. Okay, so I have that maple leaf, and then for this one, I'm going to use the greeting that says Crisp Autumn Days. Okay, so let me put this one on a block. Okay, now I don't need these. Let me kind of move these out of the way. If there's anything, my desktop can get cluttered up very, very quickly. Okay, so for my, like I said, for my card base, I'm going to be stamping a background on there using this maple leaf, and I'm going to do that in the Cajun Craze ink. I'm going to quickly clean that stamp. Looks like it may have a little bit of dust or something on it. Make sure that's dry. Okay, now I'm going to randomly stamp my leaves on my card base. Now some of this is going to be covered up, but on the side here you are going to see these. So you can see it's got a really nice detail to it. Okay. Then we're going to come here in the middle. Okay, and then we'll do a little one right up here in this corner. Okay, so there is a card base. All right, and I'm going to clean this stamp really quick. Cajun Craze is one of those colors that will stain your photopolymer, but as long as you got the ink off of it, it's not going to hurt it. It's still going to work. Okay, then on my Petal pink piece right here, I'm going to bring in this Crisp Autumn Days and my Mossy Meadow ink. I'm going to ink this up and make sure that this is inked up really good. Okay, and then I'm going to stamp this right in the center. I'm going to hold that there for a moment just so that ink transfers from the stamp to the cardstock. Okay, and I'll clean that. For some reason, my Mossy Meadow, I don't know what's up with it, but you can see that some areas it's darker than it is in others. So I'm going to flip that over, and I'm going to take my spoon here, and I'm just going to kind of press this ink into the ink pad and just kind of distribute this ink a little bit more evenly. Let me clean off the back of the spoon. Okay. And then let's stamp this again. So this way I have a more even distributed ink. Okay, there we go. So that looks a lot better. Okay, so that's all the stamping that we're doing on this card. So these cards, there is some of the stamping, but there's not a whole lot. And again, I didn't use any dies nor any punches for any of our projects. So we're just really focusing on the cardstock and the DSP and the stamp set. Okay, so for this piece of the DSP, I am going to add some adhesive to the back of this. And then I'm going to place this right about, I want it centered from top to bottom. And I'm coming away from the left side of the card a bit. Where's this center? Okay, I'll press that down. And then on these two pieces of DSP, I'm going to add some adhesive to the back of this one. And I'm going to place this one, I'm going to leave a bit of a gap up at the top, and then I'm going to center it across, so you have about the same amount of DSP sticking out from either side. Now I'm not going to completely press that down quite yet, because I'm going to put my top piece down, my bottom piece down, and then I will put this greeting piece in the middle. This is a good way if you want to make sure that when you're putting pieces on like this, that you're going to have an equal amount of distance between the two. So you want to do the top and the bottom first, and then add the one in the center. So for this one, I'm going to add dimensionals to the back of this. And I'll add one more to the center. Looks like the sun's out a lot more now. I'll be happy when it finally starts to get cooler and it stays that way. We did have a couple of cooler days, like in the 70s, when we got the remnants of Hurricane Francine that once it made landfall came straight up, and Memphis was right in line to get a lot of that rain and some of the wind. Okay, so I'm going to center that there. Everything looks good, so I'm going to press this all down. Okay, and then I'm also going to use on my project some linen thread. And one of the things I like to do with my linen thread is I like to make double-stranded bows. So I'm going to take a piece, kind of fold it in half, and then I'm going to tie a bow. Okay, make these loops a little bit smaller. And I like to kind of take these loops and kind of like pull them apart. So it kind of gives it a little bit of more interest to it. And then I'm going to take my tails, and then I'm going to snip this one end. Okay. And then I'm going to bring in some glue dots. Now I have glue dots that are part of a past paper pumpkin kit, so I'm going to use those. And I'm going to add one right here. And then I'm going to take my bow, and I'm probably going to have to trim this down a little bit more, or maybe not. Okay, so we're going to put that there. Then I'm going to bring in the embellishments, and this time I'm going to use the wild wheat colored ones. So I'm going to add one there. And then we got one right here. And then one right up here. Okay, so there is the second card. Okay, so let me tidy up just a little bit, and let me bring in the pieces and whatnot that I need for the third card. So let me take these stamps. Let me put these stamps back in the case. So being that the images, most of the images in the stamp set are bigger, you would need the larger blocks for these. But you do have some that are a bit smaller that'll work with the, you know, kind of like the more common size blocks. Okay, so for this one, I want the stamp that says September to Remember. And then there is this oak leaf. I want that one. And then, you know what? I need that maple leaf again, so I didn't need to take that off of the block. Okay, so let me get my bigger block here and put my stamp on there. And then I got my maple leaf here. All right, and then the colors I'm going to use on this is going to be crushed curry and old olive and Cajun Craze. Now, on my stamps, you know, when I store them, a lot of time when you store them, this is the way you store them. The ink pad is attached to the lid, so when you have it stored this way, the ink pad is facing down. So your ink is kind of going to be at the surface of your ink pad. Sometimes if my ink pads are really, really inky, you know, and I use my spoon to kind of push that ink in when I'm using the stamp set, the ink pad, a lot of times I'll also take it and I'll put it upside down so that way the ink kind of stays within the pad. I just find that that works if the pads are like really, really inky. Okay, so let me get the pieces for this one. Okay. And for this one, I'm going to be using some of that two-tone cardstock. Okay, so kind of move this out of the way. So I have a piece of pecan pie. This measures 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have a piece of early espresso. This measures 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. I have a piece of basic beige. This measures 3 7/8 by 1 3/4. Then I have a piece of the Sweet Days of Autumn DSP. This measures 3 1/4 by 1 7/8. And then out of the Autumn to Remember two-tone cardstock pack, this is Old Olive. And this piece too is cut at 3 1/4 by 1 7/8. And then up in the corner here, I did score a fold line. This is going to fold over, so you'll be able to see both of the colors of this cardstock. So I'm going to start off. I'm going to fold and burnish my card base. Okay, set that aside. And then on this piece of the beige, I am going to bring in my silicone craft sheet to stamp on. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because basic beige is a light color. It'll be a little bit easier for me to see where I'm stamping on this piece of cardstock when I have something darker underneath it. So I'm going to bring in my crushed curry ink. And for this, I'm going to do this again. I'm going to kind of press this in because this ink pad, it is a fairly new ink pad. So it is really inky. Okay, let me get my chamois and kind of clean that off. So that way when I put it down, I don't have to worry about ink getting everywhere. Okay, so then I'm going to take my September to Remember and I'm going to ink that up. Okay, and then I'm going to stamp this on here and I'm going to kind of do this at an angle. Okay, clean this off. All right, so I'm going to set that aside. Then I'm going to bring in this this piece of DSP, and there's going to be a little bit of stamping off of this DSP, so I'm going to put my scrap paper underneath it. I want to bring in the Cajun Craze. I'm going to ink this up. And I'm going to stamp one kind of like here in the middle of it. Whoops. And then I'm going to stamp it 2 more times, but I'm just going to put kind of like just the top part of the leaf. I really like the detail that this stamp leaves on there. Okay, so we'll take this and we'll set that aside. I'll quickly clean this off. All right, and then we'll close this up. And then I'm going to bring in this piece of my old olive two-tone cardstock and my old olive ink pad, and then this detailed oak leaf. Let's see how dark that is. So I'm just going to randomly stamp this on this piece. Like so. All right, so now let's go ahead and get our card assembled. So let me move that all out of the way and close this up. Okay, so I'm going to take this September to Remember and I'm going to bring in my seal and I'm going to adhere this onto the base of my early espresso. So I want about an equal amount of distance from the sides to the base here for this. Now I'm not going to press it down really hard. I want to get all the other pieces placed down, so if I have to move anything around, I'll be able to do that. So I'm going to add some onto this Cajun Craze piece. And again, I'm going to kind of line it up with this cardstock and have about the same amount of distance. like so. Now this piece, like I said, I did score this, so this is going to be folded over like so. So when I put my adhesive on, I'm going to put some like right along this folded edge, so that'll stay down. If I can get my okay. Then I'm going to kind of line this up as well. Move that over just a little bit and place that down. Okay, so everything looks good. So I'm going to press this all down. Now on this fold here, I'm going to bring in a dimensional and I'm going to place that right there. And we're going to add some interest by just folding it over like that, so you can see the difference of the colors of that particular cardstock. Okay, so then I'm going to take this early espresso piece. I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back of this. Okay, make sure these are all pressed down. I really love crafting for fall and decorating for fall, and Christmas is fun too, but we're starting fall right now. Okay, so then I'm going to put this on my card base. So there's not going to be a whole lot of that pecan pie poking through, so you just have a little bit of that color in there. Okay, and then I'm going to make another double-stranded linen bow. So again, I'm going to kind of fold it in half. And I'll make my bow. Oops. Okay, let's start over again. Okay. Usually doing these are fairly simple and easy, and I got it on the first try, but of course, you know, when you're filming, things don't want to work right. Okay, come on. Wow, I usually do not have this problem. These usually tie very quickly. And I don't know why it's being fussy all of a sudden. Okay. So let me make those loops a little bit smaller. Make them a little bit bigger. And again, just like I did on the other one, I'm going to kind of split these two strands in the loop part. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in those glue dots again. And I might take your pick tool. And I'm going to add this right up here. And I'll add my bow right there. And then I want to trim the tails on this. Okay. And then just like the other ones, we're going to bring in these faux glass dots. This time I'm going to use the copper clay. Now the copper clay, honestly, to me, that looks like that could pass for pumpkin pie as well. Because to me, copper clay is just a little bit lighter than the Cajun Craze. But this actually looks a little more orange to me. So they kind of look like the pumpkin pie. So I'm going to take a larger one, place that there, and then two smaller ones. I'll add one over here, and then I'll add another one over here. It kind of disappears into that Cajun Craze, the SP. Okay, so there is the third card. So let me bring in the other two that we made. So we started off with our Bountiful Blessings, and then our Crisp Autumn Days, and then our September to Remember. So again, all the products that I used for today's projects can all be found in the scrapbooking brochure. I will have, now this isn't an actual catalog in which I can mail it to you. It is a digital PDF. So I will have the link in the description that you can click on that will take you to the online store to where you can see all the products that I showed you that was in that brochure. Also, I do want to make mention, because since it is coming up, we have two things that I want to make mention. So on the first Saturday of each October, it's World Card Making Day. And on that day, Stampin' Up! Has been doing a virtual event. This event is free, not just for demonstrators, but everyone. You do want, so it's on October 5th, and it goes from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Mountain Time. You do want to register, because registering, they will email you the link to get into the platform to see it. Now, if you are not able to watch this at the time that it's airing, you will be able to go back, as long as, like I said, as long as you're registered, you will get the email with the link to the site. And become October 8th, it will then be back out there to where you can then watch the replay of it. This is the QR code. I can talk. So I'm going to hold this up a little bit. Just go in and scan that QR code, and it'll take you to the registration. Now, they did mention as well that for everyone who registers, so say if you were gathering a group of people, for an in-person World Card Making Day event, and you want everyone to watch, have everyone register, because Stampin' Up! Did say that there will be at the end a free gift for everyone that does register. And it also gives you an opportunity to go back and watch it again. Now, When you register, you will get a confirmation email. In that email, let you know what it is that they're using as far as the projects go. Now, this is only an hour long. They're going to be creating 5 projects. So they are using products that are in our current annual catalog. So there is a set of 5 card bases, so printed card bases with coordinating envelopes. And then there are 4 different ephemera packs. So those are basically just your sheets with some punch out die, printed die cuts. Um, there, out of the 4, there's 3 of them that they're using. Now, I think I didn't check before I did this video, but I believe that there's 1 or 2 of the packs of the ephemeras that are on back order, and they're not going to be back in time for the event. So again, if you register, you'll be able to go back starting on October 8th, where you can rewatch it. Now, I don't know how long it's going to be up for. Typically in the past, it's been like 30 days, but they don't exactly have an end date to which you won't be able to watch it anymore. In addition, what they're going to do is there's going to a couple of more projects that they're going to show you that will be using the white note cards and envelopes, and they will be using a stamp set. So the 5 projects that they're doing, there is no stamping to it. So for that, it's basically you got those 5 card bases, and then you got the ephemera pack. So really what you'll need is some kind of embellishment, whether you're going to use like dimensionals or your seal or some liquid glue. So there's not a whole lot that you need for what they're using during this actual event. Now, if you are local to me here in Memphis, Tennessee, I will be doing an in-person event this day. My event will go from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. and we'll actually be doing some stamping. We'll create like about 3 projects. Haven't come up with the ideas yet of what we're using. We may not even use just one bundle. We may use a couple of different ones. We'll create projects that day, and I'm going to come up with some fun activities and things like that for us to do as well. Then at 7 p.m. on the 5th, I will be going live right here on the YouTube channel, and I will recreate those projects that we did in person. So if you're local, like I said, if you're local to me and you're interested in coming, my email is going to be in the description of this video. Just send me an email and let me know, and I will add you to it. It is a free event, so registration will go until October 4th, I believe, till 1 p.m. Mountain Time. Okay, and then one other thing that I want to make mention, Paper Pumpkin is Stampin' Up's monthly subscription crafting kit. The kits range from card kits to sometimes there's treat packaging, and they have a promotion currently going on for the October Paper Pumpkin kit, which is this one is going to be, I have it right up here. I did make mention of a lot of this, all about the paper pumpkin, in my video that I did earlier in the week. So this kit here in October is going to coordinate with the Nest of Winter Sweet Collection that is currently in our holiday mini catalog. So the subscription period for this kit opened up on September 11th, and it'll go till October 10th. And the 10th is one of those days each month that if you are a subscriber or want to subscribe, to be mindful of. So if this looks like a kit that maybe you're just not really interested in it and you are subscribed, you can pause it, you can cancel, If you want more than one kit, you can go to the website and you can up the quantity if you want, or lower the quantity, whichever. But you always have to do it by the 10th of the month. So this kit, the offer of this ends, the subscription period ends for this kit on October 10th. And then on October 11th is when it'll open up for the subscription for the November kit. So the promotion that they currently got going on for this October kit, it's 40% off on the first month. You go to paperpumpkin.com and you use the code holiday40. So the holidays all capital letters. Now, if you had subscribed to Paper Pumpkin in the past and you want to take advantage of this promotion, um, use a different email than what you used before. Okay, so it recognizes email addresses. So if you decide that you want to start it back up again, um, you won't get this 40% off if you end up using the same email address that you used when you were subscribed before. Okay, so I just want to put that out there. So again, you go to the paperpumpkin.com website and you use the code holiday40 by October 10th to get your first kit at 40% off. Okay, so that's all I have for today. So happy fall, y'all. And I kind of find that funny because I am actually from New York, and to be talking like I'm a Southerner, that's kind of funny, actually, in my opinion, anyway. So if you like the projects that I made today, please give the video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. And thank you, everyone. I have reached the 500 count of subscribers, so it's just working my way up. The more that I grow this channel, so the subscriptions, the likes, the comments, the shares, all of that helps out in building the YouTube channel. The more interaction that happens on the channel, YouTube then puts my videos in other like-minded people's feeds and it gets out there. And also it helps me too in growing my Stampin' Up! Business. So again, happy fall, y'all, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.